Hello, welcome back to Math Time with Professor Prime, and I am your host as always, Professor Prime. So, math and exercising, two of my favorite things, which is a theme. This is like my fifth video, and like all of the things that I mentioned have been things I liked about, or I like a lot. But it is what it is. So, I want to talk about math and exercising and how that's used in there. And then some other things surrounding it. So first and foremost, with a lot of exercise, like we tend to measure it, we tend to keep track of it. And I know me personally, I keep a track of it, and I use Excel spreadsheet. I've gone more hardcore about it, or gotten more hardcore about it, or at least tracking it. I've always been kind of hardcore about it. But I digress. So math and exercising. Like I said, a lot of times we measure our exercise, and so what do? We count, um, and we also deal with patterns, right? And we also have to like kind of put our exercise against how much we're eating. We also have to have like if we have goals, we have to see how everything lines up with that. So I think a good way to tie it together is like let's say I wanted to lose a certain amount of weight. Let's say like 10 pounds or something. Um, and I want to lose 10 pounds. It's like, well, when do I want to lose that by? Let's say I want to lose it in a month or something, right? Then I have to see if that's feasible with the diet that I have, which you're counting up calories, you're counting out proportions, like I mean portions. So you can see the day to day just from that alone. But then you have to act and exercise. Like, can I exercise enough? Like, so it's like, well, you're looking at your food intake, you're looking at how much you exercise and what type of exercise, and you're looking at how many calories you burned, and kind of matching that against your goal. Now, when it comes to the actual exercising itself, like I said, you're always measuring something. So if I want to do like some push-ups, I want to get a good idea of how many I want to do for a given day. Like I might want to do 120, and so I know how much I want to do, and I might, like I want to record that, and then kind of like measure myself as I go on. Like maybe I want to increase the amount after a while, but and maybe I want to have a theme. Like maybe I'm doing 100 push-ups, and I'm doing 120. Sorry, maybe I'm doing 100 push-ups. Maybe I'm doing 100 setups, um, and then maybe I'm running 15 minutes on like an elliptical, and maybe I'm doing that with a certain number of resistance. Maybe I'm doing that like I think the one that I use these days, 16 is the highest resistance that it has. Like but you don't have to have some context for that. In any case, I'm still counting that how long I'm on it, how much resistance it's given me, um, all that. And then also like if I'm using some other machines or I'm just like using a weight bench, I have to consider that too. Because like what if I was bench pressing? I want to get a good sense of like the weights that I'm using and also like how they feel, and how many reps I'm dealing with. Because it's like I might be lifting 150 pounds and I want to get a good sense of how that feels, and then like I might want to do a certain amount of reps. I'm doing a lot of counting when I'm doing exercise, and I'm also taking the numbers and having an idea about how that feels physically to get a good sense about what I want to do, if I want to like raise the weight, if I want to lower the weight. So I want to have a good number sense in general, but like in context too. So yeah, I feel like there is a lot of math involved in exercising, even if we don't always realize it, because we're always counting, or we have some goals that we want to like get to, and we want to see how many calories we're burning before we get to that goal. Um, and when it concerns like losing a certain amount of weight, we want to get a good sense of that number, but also what that means. So I think all of that is interesting. And then like how that factors into the like, food part of it is just like, well, how much you're eating and all that good stuff. And if you are dealing with a gym, like how much is that costing you per month, and how much are you getting out of that? So you want to have a good number sense with that too. And also just being aware of what people are selling you and if that's worth it for what you're doing. And so there's a lot to consider where, yeah, so math is going to come up in exercising, and then, there's a lot of business stuff surrounding exercising. So you're dealing with money, and math's going to come up there too, because of course it does, right? So, yeah, you use math a lot in exercising, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. And that's the kind of theme here. A lot of times you're using math and you don't even realize it. People are natural mathematicians. That is the truth. And we don't always think about that. We don't always talk about that, but it's there. And a lot of times, the math that we see on the page is taking what we've established pattern wise or what we do, and it's making that more generalized, or it's making that more concrete in a way that we can use that for other purposes too, like in a more like direct approach. So it's like kind of streamlining it in a way. I guess that's a way to think about it. Like, hey, let's kind of boil down this process to this, and then we can use that to do this other thing. But I think that's mostly what I wanted to say though. Like, yeah. So math and exercising, they're more connected than we might think. By the very nature of exercising, we're measuring things, and so math comes into that territory a lot. So yeah, I hope to see you all in the next one. Professor Prime out.